I think we'll start off here on the porch. This is an old dresser that used to be in our living room. It held lots of puzzles and things like that for my kids, but we brought it out here after we got a new one. And I kind of liked having this space to kind of decorate. Right now I'm showing you guys real life. It's not really decorated or looking too great, but it's holding some of my herbs and some of my sunflower starts, which seem to be very leggy. I don't know, like we are not ready to put them in the ground just yet, and so I don't know, we'll see if anything comes from those. And then we've got a basil that's just not looking too great. Some lemon thyme that looked like it was dying off in some places, but some parts are still doing well. And then this poor sage, I have no idea what is going on with it. I assumed that it needed more water, and so I gave it more water, and it's still just not very happy. So I don't know if I can bring this thing back, but I'm gonna keep trying. If you guys have any suggestions, let me know. And then my lavender, it's doing good. Now down here, I am a huge fan of wildflowers. I've always loved them, and so I found a pack of wildflower mix at like the Dollar Tree or something, and so I just kind of sprinkled them all in here. I put some petunias kind of on the edge, but they're kind of hidden between or behind a lot of the taller wildflowers. But that's them. These black-eyed Susans are probably my favorites. Here on the sides of our sidewalk, each of my girls got to plant some flowers. Now the other side of our garden, I did kind of the same thing here. A lot of this was just a wildflower mix that I just kind of tossed out, and of course today it's not looking too great because things are kind of dying off, kind of between blooms I guess. But here are my elephant ears. I've had these since like the very first spring that we lived in this house, which was about 7 years ago. They just keep coming back every year, and they keep getting bigger and bigger, they keep spreading. And I just love it. It just reminds me of that first spring for us. I ended up cutting the chips off of these gladiolas to save and display in the house in a jar. They were just so pretty, but I got those from the Dollar Tree and planted them. I wasn't sure kind of what was going to happen there, but they did really well for a while, and now it just kind of looks sad. This thing, I am honestly not even sure if that is a wildflower. I don't know. What do you guys think? I have no clue. This is like a little patch of poppies that have lost their petals. There's a few more that are gonna bloom soon. Another black-eyed Susan. Beautiful cosmos. It's been really fun because I didn't really know exactly what was gonna come of those, but it's been a fun surprise. And then on over here, a lot of this is overgrown, kind of in that corner there. Kind of gave up on it. Didn't really do much here. Just planted a few little flowers from a local place from the starts that we got there. Some more gladiolas there. And there's a few little wildflowers that have popped up here and there, but for the most part, it's just been kind of just weeds and grass between random tree looking things. And I had a volunteer tomato pop up. I have no idea how or where it came from, but it's there, and so I'm just letting it grow to kind of see what happens with it. And to give some perspective of size of our land, so unfortunately all of this is not ours. The line, that pretty much what we own. It goes further back here, and behind that shed is the end of our property. So super duper tiny. We have this small space where the kids like to play, We do it in the front yard just because it's easier access and we can all hang out on the porch. But this is pretty much what we've got here for the kids and the flower bed. So now let's move on to the other side where I will show you guys our garden. Alright, so here is the newest addition to our little homestead here in Missouri. This is the first year that I have actually grown really anything. I've done a few things in pots, but nothing really came of it. But this year I knew that I was determined. I wanted to grow something and really learn how to do that. The first thing here is my zucchini. This is the one thing I was most excited to grow. And as you can see, I have things really close together. I think I underestimated just how large zucchini plants get. I've been doing my best to kind of make sure I am pruning back branches that are just too tall, that might be covering up the other things here, as well as kind of angling the way that they grow and just kind of making sure that they're not growing into each other, so that they produce the most. And it seems like since I've started actually doing that, like moving the vines, I'm not sure, they have been producing so much more. I also have this random potato that has come up and it's super leggy. It's definitely trying to get sunlight, but I decided to let that go just to see what happens. I have no idea what to expect, but hey, we might get potatoes or we might not. I don't know. It's all a learning experience right now. My next little bit is my tomatoes. I honestly am not a huge tomato fan, but my children really do love them, and I love having tomatoes in things, so like sauces, like spaghetti sauce and salsas and things like that. So figured we would give them a try and kind of see what happens. The first one here is a plant start that I actually got from Baker Creek from their spring planting festival. Henderson's Pink Ponderosa Heirloom Beefsteak. So now that's what this is. I let my girls kind of pick out a larger tomato, and we've got a few little blossoms there. There's one that is kind of starting to set fruit, but yeah, I let my girls pick that one out because I honestly had no idea what to grab, and so they liked that it was pink, so we went with that one. Then I've got 4 of my little cherry tomatoes. Those are our favorites. Our as in my children. One is setting fruit here, and the others have yet to. But yeah, that's those. And I think we've got like a little volunteer right here that might be coming up on the side of this larger beefsteak, which is super exciting. I figured I'd just let it go. I don't know. This is my first year and just learning and observing and kind of getting an idea of how these things grow. And my other things that are growing here in this bed are jalapenos. I wanted to try and grow some peppers that I could use in my cooking, and also learn to pickle them so that I can add them to things. And so then I didn't have time to start them from seed. I had actually tried to start peppers from seed before and they just kind of piddled away. I don't know what happened, but I got these starts just from Walmart. Not the best, but it was something. Just still learning. I've harvested a few from here, used them in a few recipes. So this one is just a regular jalapeno plant, and this other one over here is a mammoth jalapeno. And so I just figured it'd be fun to kind of see how they grow and what we can figure out to do with them. Planted a few marigolds in here. I've heard that they're really good at deterring pests, especially for tomatoes. So far it seems like So far it seems like they're doing pretty well at deterring things. We haven't found anything attacking our plants yet, so cross our fingers, hopefully that stays that way for a while, or even the whole season. That would be amazing. And this right here is my trellis that I am still not done with. I knew I wanted to do some sort of archway, and just like many who follow Jess from Roots and Refuge, I assumed I was just going to do a cattle panel trellis, and we went to the store and realized that we had no idea how we were going. Sorry, I had to move. There was a wasp, and I don't think it was very happy that I was standing around in that area. Anyways, so yeah, we had no idea how we were going to get it home, so I figured, well, why not I just use what we've got here and build one. And so I actually really love it. It's imperfect, as you can see. It's not finished, but it's functional, and it's allowing my tomatoes to be able to stand up. I've tied them in a few places here and there just to kind of keep them there, and I'm going to encourage them to keep growing up. And then it's also allowing my cucumbers to trellis up. And this right here is one cucumber right here, and then another small one right here that's starting to make its way to the trellis. I actually had originally planted 6, and you can see one more, and ignore my weeds. I need to weed so badly. There's one there, and one teeny tiny piddly one right here. I am not very hopeful with that, but I haven't pulled it up yet just to see. Maybe it'll come back. I added an okra plant here, and this was also just a start from Walmart, I believe. I grew up eating okra. One of my grandmothers cooked it all the time, and it was just a favorite, so I knew that I wanted to try it as well. Now, before all of this was here, I had sugar snap peas trellising up, and they were absolutely wonderful. I know now that I will definitely plant thicker amounts, so we'd only put like 5 across, but I would definitely plan to double that. My girls devoured them this year. They apparently did not like them before we grew them, but now they're like their favorites. Recently added a sweet bell pepper, just to start from Walmart. It was cheap, needed something to fill in this space here. Figured why not, something that the girls could snack on. Also added 2 more tomato varieties that I also got at Walmart. They don't look too happy, but we'll see. We'll see kind of how that goes. I haven't planned exactly how I'm going to stake them or trellis them, but put them here for now and just kind of keeping an eye on them, how they're growing. If they start leaning, I'll probably get something in there. But this is aroma. I tried to choose heirloom varieties rather than hybrids, I guess. I mean, I'm still learning, but I have a feeling that heirlooms are better. And a Cherokee purple here. Back here in front of the trellis archway, I have, so when we got the new dresser in our living room for my girls' things and homeschool stuff, the top drawer was not functional as a drawer. So I figured, well, why not turn it into a planter? So we got strawberries, knew that it would be a cute little idea. I know that this is not going to be something that will last very long because it's the particle board wood, and so, but it was something that I thought would be kind of fun to grow my strawberries in. Did you guys know that strawberry plants send off like shoots and then they reroot? That is something I had no idea happened, but I've noticed in many different spots that they have sent off shoots and they've rerouted, which I think is really cool. So that's that. some planters that I have available for if I have any more ideas of things to grow. These pots were what I held some of my potatoes in. We have a mystery plant growing. If you have any idea what that may be, let me know. I know the other stuff I believe is just grass, but that looks different. I meant to plant some more potatoes in here, but I just never got around to it. I probably still could, I guess, but for now, they're empty with some random something growing. And then here, I have 4 pots of watermelon growing. I've never grown watermelon, but we're trying it. We're doing them in pots. So far, they seem to be doing okay. I've noticed quite a few blossoms on them, and even a few teeny tiny baby watermelons, so that's super exciting. See if I can show you one of the tiny little watermelons. Oh, you see it? Oh my gosh. So cute. So exciting. Here you may have noticed we have one side fenced off with pallet fence, and the other side has not been done. It's been a work in progress, but soon we will have this whole area fenced off better. I just love the look of it, and just real rustic, and I love being able to reuse something and giving it a new purpose. And another look at our yard here. So this section here, I actually have been having some ideas playing around in my head of turning this space into maybe some long road beds. My idea is maybe 1 or 2 long raised beds, but not the same kind of raised beds as what I have here, but more of just raised up dirt, if that makes sense. Figured it would be cheaper that way, maybe even easier for David when he mows, but it also give us more space to grow more things. I keep finding myself wanting to grow more of the things that I am already growing, but also I'm wanting to grow more things just in general. I want to try new things. I want to try different varieties, and that's kind of what we're thinking. I'm not for sure though. It'd probably be a over winter project into spring for next year. But yeah, that's what we're kind of thinking. Here's a little back view of the garden. Say hi! Crazies. Our little junkyard. All of the pallets we're going to use to finish the fencing, plus my potential little raised bed, old chair, you know, all those kinds of things that could be used maybe someday. Alright, so let me show you guys back here. So, back here is, I guess, what you would consider the backyard. That is my husband's car, currently not working. We haven't had a chance to really fix it, but it's sitting back here on what used to be the back shed. The tornado that came through Joplin, I believe, destroyed it. This was before we owned this home, but just a back pad here, and this area here is pretty much what we have to use for backyard. Really small, but we actually recently added this little structure. I saw it on Facebook Marketplace. My immediate thought was chicken coop. So, obviously not something that would work currently, but the guy was willing to build it for us here. And the payment, he was open to me just doing a photo session for him and his, I believe, girlfriend. So, super exciting. So I'm like, whether or not we use it for a chicken coop, it will be used in some way. But that is that. So hopefully someday, maybe next spring, we will be able to turn this into a chicken coop and finally have our chickens. And right here is our back door. That window right there is the kitchen. Goes right into the kitchen in that way. So pretty easy access. Not the greatest, but it would be really awesome to be able to utilize this space a little bit more rather than it just kind of sitting here. So our property goes until right past this little shed here. All of this is owned by somebody else. He comes and mows and then on his way, but this strip here, tiny little lot, this is what we've got. Here's a pecan tree. So I assume that since it overlaps into our yard, and my plan is to hopefully harvest some. I've never tried in the 6-7 years we've lived here. I think I might try this year.